Good morning students, welcome to Blue Stars Higher Secondary School online class 8, subject Physical Science, chapter 5, Coal and Petroleum. Students, already I finished these lessons. Next we will discuss about this lesson short answers. So students, first short answers, difference between natural resources and man-made resources. What are the difference between natural resources and man-made resources? Already I told what is the natural resources and man-made resources. First, natural resources. Natural resources are obtained from the nature like air, water, soil, forest and petroleum. Which one is get natural? That is a natural resources. Natural resources are obtained from the nature like air, water, soil, forest and petroleum. Next one is the man-made resources. Man-made resources are obtained by human efforts like. So which one is preserved? Humans. Man-made things. That is the man-made resources. The man-made resources are obtained by human efforts like plastic, synthetic fibers, explosive and drugs. How to prepare plastics, synthetic fibers, explosive and drugs. This is the man-made resources. That is the difference between natural resources and man-made resources. Okay. So first question. Next second question. Define inexhaustible natural resources. The types of natural resources are inexhaustible natural resources and exhaustible natural resources. So this questions define inexhaustible natural resources. What is mean by inexhaustible natural resources? The inexhaustible natural resources are present in unlimited quantity in nature. So inexhaustible natural resources are unlimited quantity in nature and exhaustible natural resources are limited quantity in nature. That is the difference between inexhaustible and exhaustible. So inexhaustible natural resources are present in unlimited quantity in nature and are not likely to be exhausted. That is the definition of inexhaustible resources. Next, define exhaustible natural resources. Exhaustible natural resources are limited in nature. Already I told students, once again I told you, inexhaustible means unlimited quantity, exhaustible means limited quantity in nature and can be exhausted by human activities. Exhaustible means human activities and inexhaustible, it does not like a human activity. That is the basic differences of inexhaustible and exhaustible. Next one is the define fossil. Define fossils. The remains of dead plants and animals which were buried under the rocks millions of years ago are called fossils. The remains of dead plants and animals. So before 300 millions, the animals and plants are, dead plants are degradation form to form a coal, petroleums and fossils. Coal otherwise known as a fossils. The remains of dead plants and animals which were buried under the rocks millions of years ago are called fossil. Next one is the define fossil fuels. Fuels formed by the remains of dead plants and animals are called fossil fuels. Fuels formed by the remains of dead plants and animals are called fossil fuels. This is the fifth one. So first question, what are the difference between natural resources and man-made resources? Second question, define inexhaustible natural resources. Third one, define exhaustible natural resources. And fourth one, define fossils. Fifth one, define fossil fuels. Next question, define carbonization. What is that? Define carbonization. The process of conversion of decomposed carbon. Carbons is deposited and decomposed. Carbons are deposited and decomposed. The deposits of plant material into coal due to heat and pressure below the surface of earth is called carbonization. Carbonization means the process of conversion of decomposed carbons. So carbons decompose ஆனதுக்கு அப்புறம் deposits of plant material எங்க அது deposit ஆகும்னா plant material into coal. plant material into coal due to heat and pressures. அதுக்கு heat and pressures increase ஆகும்போது below the surface of earth is called carbonization. அப்போ என்ன பண்ணோம் அப்படின்னா எர்த்தோட பிலோ சர்ஃபேஸில் போய் இருக்கும். தட் மீன்ஸ் கார்பனைசேஷன்ஸ். Next question. What are the harmful effects of using fossil fuels? What are the harmful effects of using fossil fuels? Fossil fuels oda harmful effects enna? Burning of fossil fuels causes air pollution. Enna cause pannu? To produce air pollution. They also cause global warming. Fossil fuels also cause global warming and fossil fuels produce air pollution. This is the harmful effects of fossil fuels. Next, write the characteristic of peat. Write the characteristic of peat. Peat oda characteristics enna? It is not a coal. It is not a coal. It is an accumulation of partially decayed leaves and branches. So peat அப்படின்றது ஒரு கோல் கிடையாது. That what is the formation of peat means? The accumulation of partially decayed, கொஞ்சம் வந்து decay இருக்கும், remaining வந்து அப்படியே இருக்கும். That is a partially decayed leaves and branches. Leaves and branches ல partially decay ஆன substance தான் என்ன சொல்லணும் அப்படின்னா peat. It contains a large quantity of moisture. It contains a large quantity of moisture. It does not decayed. It does not decayed, partially decayed. Leaves and branches, it contains a large quantity of moisture. The lot of moisture present in the peat. The lot of moisture present in the peat. That is the characteristics of peat. Next one is the define refining. Define refining. How to petroleum is refined. How to petroleum is refined. First, what is meant by refining? The process of separating various constituents of petroleum is called refining. So petroleum நம்ம எர்த்தோட சர்ஃபேஸில் இருந்து நம்ம உள்ள டீப் இன்சைட்லேருந்து எடுக்கும்போது there are most of substances are present in the petroleum. So how to separate the refining methods? எப்படி இதை ரீஃபைன் பண்ணி பெட்ரோலியத்தை மட்டும் தனியாக எடுக்கிறோம், அதுதான் refining. The process of separating various constituents of petroleum is called refining. The process of separating various constituents of petroleum is called refining. Okay, then next question. Next question, define conservation of energy. Define conservation of energy. The wise, careful and economical use of energy resources is called conservation of energy. How to use the energy? How to use the careful handling the energy? The economical use of energy resources is called a conservation of energy. So this is the 10 questions for you, short answers, coal and petroleum. So I have attached this question PDF. So all of you watch this PDF and write the question answer, read the daily portions. Okay, thank you students.